Okay. Today's the 16th of January 2026. I'm actually feeling quite productive at the moment because I filmed a video earlier today. So that's fun, that's great. How else am I feeling? Let me think. I was having a conversation with my mom, I think it was last night, because it's finally confirmed that I am graduating. So I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to the Lord. That's what I'm gonna say because I'm gonna cry. Yeah, I'm so grateful. And then we were obviously talking about, like, graduation celebrations and things like that. And the topic came up of, like, because I told her I really didn't want a graduation party because I tried to celebrate myself recently and it didn't go the way I wanted, but things happened genuinely. But I think in that situation I didn't celebrate myself for this specific reason for a long time, and then when I tried to, it didn't go as planned. So it just reminded me why I don't like celebrating myself in the first place, because that sucked. But again, things happen. There's certain things that will happen in life that are out of my control, and I hate that because I am a control freak. But yeah, she brought up the topic of, like, celebrating my graduation, having a graduation party. And yeah, we're having like a deep chat, and it's a thing of, like, well, she kind of brought up the fact that, like, I've been to a lot of people's graduation parties, so it's kind of their turn to come to mine. So she's like, no, they have to come to yours because you went to theirs. I'm just like, I wish it was that easy. I'm like, I wish it was that easy, I wish it was that simple, but it's not always like that. And not to say that, like, I'm not saying it in a way where, like, I have done things solely so someone can do the same for me. It's just one of those things where, just like, as a person who I would like to think has shown up for a lot of people in my life, it is nice when it gets to a point where you don't have to overthink if they will do the same thing. So I was in a situation where I was just like, that's I don't think it's that easy. Like, I don't think it's gonna be that easy, and it's kind of scary, and it's making me quite anxious thinking about, do I want to celebrate it or not? Because I don't want to be in a position where I expect certain people to show up and they just don't, because I will be disappointed again. I'm like, this is why I don't celebrate my shit, So I think that's just a lot of where my anxiety comes from I don't want to say anxiety, but a lot of where my worries come from, or where my insecurities come from when it comes to celebrating people. Like, have you ever done something for someone in the moment and you're just like, this person wouldn't do this for me, and then you kind of want to, like, die? I don't know. I don't know if I'll celebrate myself on that day, but I'll see. I think that's most of what I'm feeling today, just that worry of if I will be shown up for the same way that I showed up. So yes, but other than that, I had a really good day. I saw one of my friends. She's one of my high school friends, actually, that I love dearly, and it was just fun. We just sat and we spoke for 4 hours straight, and I'm very content. My heart is quite happy right now. Has anyone else been in, like, a really depressive state recently? Like, I don't know what's in the air, but other than that, like, right now I'm feeling really content with how my day went, and I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude as well in this moment. So yeah, quite nice. I like this feeling. The gratitude, it's nice, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful to God that I woke up today. And yes, today is the 16th of January 2026, and those are my feelings for today. Today's the 20th of January 2026. How am I feeling today? I saw one of my friends recently that I hadn't seen consistently in about a year, and it was really nice to see her. The main thing that stuck out to me was we had a really important conversation that needed to be had between the both of us, just to kind of, like, hear each other's perspectives, and just so we can move forward. And I feel a lot closer to her after that. But it made me think about, number one, the fact that I'm so grateful that I even have this type of friend that I can have this conversation with, and that we can, like, clear things. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's such a, I don't know how to explain it. Let me think. I'd say it's such a privilege to have such a person that cares about you enough to bring up, like, a hard conversation so that you guys can, hear each other's sides and grow a lot closer and things like that. Not only am I grateful for that, it also got me thinking about, like, situations that I have been in when there wasn't a chance to have this type of conversation, and it makes me think, I'm like, could we have been further if we just had that one conversation, just to, like, clear the air, just to hear each other's perspectives, and thinking about situations that I'll probably be in the future where we're supposed to have a conversation but we can't because no one's bringing anything up, type thing. So yeah, that specific theme type thing of just, like, having that important conversation it got me thinking about a bunch of these other things that I just said. I think sometimes I forget that I am very lucky to experience this type of person. And yeah, I'm really grateful to have had that conversation because, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I was also thinking a lot since I have been in a slump. Obviously, I've been on my phone and I've been on social media and stuff, and I've just been seeing a lot of relatable content. And on Twitter this week, I saw a tweet, obviously. This one person was like, I'm grieving the life that I thought I would have, and I'm craving a future that I don't even know exists, something along those lines. But the part that a full sentence would be nice, actually. The part that stood out to me the most was the part where she said she's grieving the life she thought she would have had. And I was thinking a lot about that, going back to like academics, because I am graduating. I think tying that to academics. So for some context, I have ADHD, but I was undiagnosed for my whole life. I only got diagnosed with ADHD in 2024, I think. So I was 22 turning 23, but I was undiagnosed my whole life. I was just thinking about how far I could have been if I was diagnosed earlier, and how much further I would have been academically. So I don't know why I've been grieving that specific part of my life. I don't know. But it also told me that I'm not stupid. I was just undiagnosed for a very long time, and it has nothing to do with my intelligence, and I'm a very smart person. I've just been grieving that specific part of my life and wondering how far I would have been if I was diagnosed a lot earlier, if my parents took me seriously. Also, thinking of being in a black family and them not believing in neurodivergence and stuff like that was really frustrating. So there's a part of that where a lot of my anger comes from as well. I think that's all I'm feeling today. So yeah, today's the 20th of January, and those are my feelings. Today is the 29th of January. January is almost finished, thank goodness. I'm gonna carry on talking, then hopefully I get to a point. My algorithm has just been so personal lately. Like, I'll go through something and then I'll see videos about like what I'm going through. I'm just like, who's snitched? I'm like, God, if this is what you're trying to, like, I don't know, God just has this way of like, when I'm going through something, then he'll make sure every piece of content that I consume has to do with what I'm going through. Like, sometimes I'll go through something and I can't find the words to describe how I'm feeling in that situation, or sometimes it's something that I need to hear so I can be like better and stuff. Recently I saw this video on TikTok, because that's where I do all my research, and this girl is basically saying, what did she say? Hold on, it'll come to me. She was basically saying one truth that she's finding very hard to accept about herself, especially in her 20s, is that she's capable of hurting people. Yeah, and then she went on to say that it was such a rude awakening when people close to her would tell her like, hey, like, you actually hurt my feelings when you did so and so and so, because the last thing that she would ever want to do is hurt someone's feelings, especially if it's someone that she loves so much or like cares about and things like that. And then she also went on to say like it was very hard to grasp that specific thing, especially because when she has hurt someone, most of the time it's never her intention. Yeah, that really stuck with me, because I feel like for the past year I have not been myself, meaning I haven't been as, I'm not to be like have a big head or anything, but like I haven't been as considered as I usually am. And I think because I've been in my own little bubble for a while, and I think because I've been hurt a lot, I've only put focus on how people hurt me or how people treat me I've mostly put my focus there instead of also focusing on how I treat others. And not to say that I treat others badly, obviously, and like not to say that I'm terrible, like evil or something like that, but just in a sense of like, I haven't been as cautious as I usually am. Like, I feel like I've just been moving through life just like without thinking about any consequences, which is bad. I've been in positions, like I've been in that mindset before and I moved past it, but I feel like I'm slowly going back to it, which is not good. Like, that's not who I am as a person. But yeah, most of the focus throughout the past year has been how people have treated me, and it hasn't been about like how I treat people. But I think it's mostly because I know if I've treated a person badly, it wasn't intentional. But again, intentionality doesn't mean anything. Like if a person is hurt, a person is hurt. I hope I'm making sense. I am making sense. I must stop doing this thing where I'm just like, I hope I'm making sense. I'm just like, girl, you made sense. Like, chill. Yeah, I think that's all, basically. And it was just also such a hard pill to swallow because it made me think about the fact that I'm probably not as self-aware as I think. And to me, when I would say I'm self-aware, it would mostly be about like the bad things about myself. Sometimes the good things, but mostly the bad things, which isn't good. I should be able to recognize what's good about me and not only focus on what's bad about me. You know what I mean? Like I was very self-aware in terms of my weaknesses. I should also be self-aware about my strengths. So yeah, so that was a hard pill to swallow. But I think, yeah, I think that's just a hard pill to swallow in general, that even though you can have a good heart, you are still capable of hurting people. And yeah, it's up to you and stuff, I guess, like what you choose to do moving forward, whether you want to be a better person or whether you want to actively make a change and be like, hey, I actually don't like this and I need to start being aware of, I don't know how to explain this, but you know what I mean. Like I can't only be aware of what is done to me. But yeah, sometimes your For You page is very loud, and sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's the universe giving you a sign, whichever higher power you believe in and stuff. You know what I mean. But yeah, today's the 29th of Jan, and those were my feelings for today. Today is the 30th of Jan, 2026. Jan is almost over finally, but again, why am I in a rush? Because where do I have to go? How am I feeling today? Let me think. Today I'm very worried. I think for this whole month I was looking forward to the year, I can't lie. Not so much anymore. I think last year I was very uncomfortable, like for I'd say a good chunk of the year, and right now I'm still in that uncomfortable space of things needing to change, but I don't know how they will change, and just I don't know, just feeling weird and uncomfortable overall. And it just makes me nervous because that familiarity isn't comfortable, duh, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I think that just makes me really anxious because I'm just like, is this year gonna be like a copy of last year? Because I'm like, that's the last thing I need, just to be in that uncomfortable headspace, uncomfortable feeling, uncomfortable like everything, just like not sure of anything. Yeah, I think that's just the main thing. I don't, the last thing I want is for this year to be an exact replica of like last year, because last year was not nice. Yeah, I was very, very uncomfortable. Take a shot for every time I said uncomfortable. That's just how I'm feeling at the moment. Just that fear, that anxiety, that nothing will probably change. But it's also hard because it's like there's certain things that are up to me to change. But my problem is, in order for me to change something, I need for a bad thing to get extremely, extremely bad, worse even, for me to even be like, oh, shit. Yeah, I was talking with my mom today because I'm starting therapy soon, finally. And after that conversation, I just kind of realized that what people observe about you externally is a huge, huge opposite to what happens internally. And we were just talking, and I was asking her, I'm like, do you ever worry about me? And she was like, no, I think I've gotten past that. And I was like, why? Because I'm like, sure, you'd worry about your child because like your child's going to therapy and like she's not okay and stuff. And she's like, no, I think I've just gotten past that. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, no, you, like, I don't have to worry. And I was like, why? Because I thought like maybe that means she doesn't care or something. She's like, no, because like you like everything is aligning. And I was like, with what? Like, I'm like, girl, where? And she was just kind of like, no, like what was she saying, like, no, like you're getting old and you're finding yourself. And it was just crazy to me because I'm just like, wow, she truly thinks I'm finding myself, and this is the most lost I've ever been in my life. I live in a world I'm lost in, and I've lived like this for a very long time, and I don't know I'm gonna get out of it. But I'm just like, wow, the contrast is insane. Like what you observe externally and what I'm feeling internally are two different things, girl. I was like, okay, at that point I didn't have any energy for the conversation. I was like, whatever, girl. So I don't know, I don't know, it's just like another reminder that I truly am alone with certain things in my life. I'm like, even in my own home, there's no one I can confide in. Because the main thing that people ask me, like, do you have anyone to talk to? I'm just like, I like there's an idea of someone I could talk to, but I'm like, it's also just like different times and stuff. Like I don't think she had anyone to talk to when she was growing up. And also like depression and anxiety and mental health didn't exist back then. So it's like, what can she do? I think that was just the theme of the day, just fear, anxiety, loneliness, and what's a good word? Just perspective as well. Just like perspective, perception, whichever one sounds smart and sounds like I ate, you know. Yeah, I need to stop being a depressed little rat, but at the same time it's like, how can I not be? Because like, can you look at the political and economic state of the world right now? Shit. But yeah, anyway, today's the 30th of Jan 2026, and those are my feelings today.